So when we're in Australia, they've actually commissioned a new piece for us, which is very exciting, by Holly Harrison. And in addition to Holly's piece, we'll be doing basically the work of 4 different young American composers. So one is our friend Nico Muhly, who wrote a piece for us called Double Speak. And that was written for a festival to honor Philip Glass's, I think it was his 75th birthday. He's about to be 80. So Nico wrote this piece sort of as a celebratory piece for Philip, and it's beautiful. It's really, I think, fun and energetic, and even the slow music seems fast, which is sort of a good descriptor of Nico's personality. And he included some little quotes of Philip's music in it as well, because it's a tribute to him. Then Bryce Dessner wrote us a piece called Murder Ballads, and that commission came about, and his brother, Bryce is a twin, and his twin brother had sort of challenged him to write a piece that was very American. And Bryce was sort of very consumed at the time with the genre of the murder ballad, which in a sense, you know, are these beautiful kind of folk-like sounding songs that tell these horrible, grisly murders that actually happened. So it's sort of like a recounting of the news of the time, but in song form. And so he essentially took several very well-known murder ballads like Pretty Polly or Young Emily, and he made some beautiful arrangements of those. And then interspersed with actual murder ballads, he sort of wrote his own, you know, sort of modern day murder ballads. And while obviously none of them has text, the tunes are very evocative of these sort of American folk melodies. So that's murder ballads. And then the final 2 pieces are by composer Timo Andres and Ted Hearne. And Timo's piece is a piece called Checkered Shade, and Ted's piece is a piece called Bye Bye Huey. And actually both of those works are sort of excerpt from a larger evening length work, and they were inspired by pieces of artwork from a private collection. So Timo's piece was inspired by this very kind of immaculate and detailed drawing, pen and ink drawing. And it's sort of one of those things that the more you look at it, the more detail you see. And to me, it translates to his piece, which sort of starts at a very micro level and just keeps expanding and expanding, and becomes like incredibly sort of orchestral and epic, sort of awesome in a way. And then it kind of shrinks back down to that micro level that it started at. And Ted Hearne's piece was also inspired by a piece of art, and that kind of has a political story. So the name of his piece, Bye Bye Huey, is the same as the name of the piece of art, which depicts the face of Tyrone Robinson, who assassinated Huey Newton, who was the leader of the Black Panthers. And superimposed onto the image of Tyrone's face is a praying mantis, and it says Bye Bye Huey. And sort of I think the message behind the artwork is how, with the praying mantis, sort of how people eat their own people. So the piece, which is actually very rhythmic and very driven and energetic, is very much, I think, about futility, the idea of like constantly trying to get something across and that not working, or the idea of communication just not happening. And I think he expresses that in some really interesting ways by using extended techniques for all the different instruments. It's quite something. And the end of that piece has this kind of very exquisite sort of neo-jazz piano solo in which I feel like Ted sort of tried to capture somebody in a completely unself-conscious moment, you know, being their very true, like, genuine self.